intro.
Yes.
And a welcoming, and just chat a little bit as well about Bad Queer and kind of introduce the book before you do reading. Just want to give you all a real warm welcome to Pages of Hackney. Thank you, Joe, for having me, and thank you all of you for joining as well. This was sold out, which is lovely. So yeah, I really appreciate you joining. I will tell you a little bit about what's happening today. I'm going to ramble a little bit, and then Gayathiri is going to do a reading. We'll have some questions. We'll have another reading, a few more questions, and then we'll open up to the audience, and then we'll wrap up after some signings. And if you want to purchase some books as well, we'll be out of here by 8:30.
Finish at 8:30, out by 9.
Finish at 8:30, out at 9. I would say out at 8:45 because people like to take their time, and if I know anything about their C's, we like a long goodbye. So 8:45, okay, and then we'll get out by 9. I just wanted to say, do you know what? Actually, I thank you first of all for sending me an advance copy of this. It was really thoughtful. I was really lucky to be one of the few who read this story in its very early forms. I didn't even know that it was like. I didn't know these illustrations existed because I read the advance copy and there was no illustration. So I was like, pure words, and it was fantastic. It was like this beautiful story. But then, like the other week, I got this copy with the illustrations and the color, and oh my god, it was like reading. And the illustrator, sorry, is Chi Nwosu. Is that how you pronounce her name? Wosu. Thank you. So beautiful. It was like a different story, or like an
experience.
Additional layer. Yeah. Really incredible. So I just love that. And the title, like, come on, Bad Queer. I was going to tell you what Bad Queer means to me, but I wonder if you want to just chat to the person next to you. Just like, what does it mean to you, Bad Queer, or who is a Bad Queer? Like, just a minute or two. No wrong answers. Silence is the wrong answer. I'm joking. I love it.
What does it mean to you?
I think I don't know what it means, but because it's just like it's like an oxymoron. It's like you can't actually be a bad queer. So it's so fun. It's like playful. It's like there's no such thing.
Yeah. My editor offered me the title because when we were editing, I kept going, and when you just feel like a shit queer, and like you don't really feel like you're being all sort of loud and proud, and like you've got the right vocab or the aesthetic. Do you know what I mean? And all that. And then she was like, how about Bad Queer? And I was like, immediately loved it. And then we had to just look up if there were any other books, but there aren't, which is surprising.
I love it.
It's a good title.
Wedge that in there.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. I guess I was thinking. Sorry, Drew. I would love to hear some little thoughts from the audience, if you don't mind. What does Bad Queer mean for you? What did it bring up? Anyone can just put their hand up.
My partner mentioned, so he said his mother would have said me. because I turned him.
Oh, I'll just repeat that for the recording. Audience
good
member,
queer, surely.
An audience member has said my partner would say that I was the bad queer because, quote unquote, I turned him. Oh my goodness, I felt weird saying that, repeating that, because I don't believe that, but that's great. But yeah, Gayathiri was like,
good queer,
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else? We're going to be thinking about that one, aren't we?
In our discussion, we were talking about how this person over here said a really good one. I liked it.
I was just saying, like, the first thing I thought of was, I think when you're brown, it's quite common to not be out to a lot of people in general, but also like your family especially. And I think there's sort of like a underlying thing of that making you a bad queer because you're not out and you're not like walking around with a pride flag. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Not like representing. Yeah.
Friendships being made. Tanya was just saying about how when you're brown, especially, you feel like you have to be like a certain kind of queer with the pride flag, and if you're not out, then you're a bad queer. Is that kind of, yeah, which is actually what you were kind of just talking about just now.
Yeah, like the feeling of I'm not loud and proud, I'm not sort of representing, or I don't kind of fit a certain aesthetic of like queer, or oh, you know, who am I dating, what type of sex am I having, you know, all of that, and you can feel insecure, which is what is explored in the book. And even say, you know, oh, I'm queer. I mean, I'm 32 now, and I'm quite used to saying that, but, you know, age sort of 22, it's very, it's surprising to people who like don't perceive you that way. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't
look queer, act
yeah,
queer,
or yeah, you haven't had at that time like partners who are women, or you know, things like this.
You haven't hit those queer milestones, or
Right? Yeah,
through
yeah,
that classic narrative.
yeah. But when you know, you know. Or if you're unsure, that's very queer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's for me is why bad queer is like an oxymoron, because for me queer in itself is like this kind of breaking or kind of redefining,
like undefinable. Yeah.
So like it's funny. I find it funny because it's like you can't be a bad queer because the word in itself is about being bad, like twisting and kind of revolving and this kind of
and like discovery and like changing.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, let's tell you what Bad Queer is about then. It's a novel in verse about navigating first love as a non-binary Tamil teenager. It's a love story between 3 generations of a Tamil family and the love story between queer friends. We love queer love, yay! Yeah, for me this was like pure trans teenager. It was punchy, it was raw, and even as an adult there was something very kind of healing and relatable about it. So it was a pure joy to read this. And you know, for me ultimately I think this is a book and a family that actually all young people deserve, not just the queer ones or the trans or the ones trying to figure it out. I think, you know, what if. On that note, I would love you to give us a lovely reading from Bad Queer. So please, the floor is yours.
yeah, great. And I've read here before, and I'm just going to sit on here again because some people might be lip reading and like to see my face. Okay, so oh, it's a bit dicey. Okay, so this is from the start of the book, where Amma means mother in Tamil, and so Surya, who is the main character, they're a non-binary teenager. They know they're non-binary. That's not the thing that they're struggling with. So their Amma is telling them about their sort of family history and how they came to the UK. And I was thinking about what are the politics that we're passing down. When Amma talks about growing up with Tati and Tata, this is what they say. Finding home here in London was a struggle. Refugees were allowed but not welcomed. Tati and Tata didn't speak the language they were supposed to. Never a chance for their pleases to meet their thank yous, for their half-asked questions to meet answers. I translated Tata's soft-spoken Tamil through parents' evenings and doctor's appointments and social worker visits, for people with clipboards and clipped voices who scored them carelessly, as careless parents who had better things to do than help with homework or read bedtime stories of golden locked girls in towers rescued by straight-spined princes of empire because they were too bloody hell busy packing bags for life at Tesco down the road. I want to believe they tried their best, but my queerness didn't belong with them. so I found homes of my own till it did. Amma pulls lines from old diaries, paints their truth on canvas, how they were never only a boy and never only a girl. They tell me our Tamilness is something we've struggled with. It doesn't always feel like we belong in the community, but Orvia felt like the perfect chosen name. It means artist in Tamil, and Mum's name, Ahalya, refers to light. As humans, our power and light lies in our ability to create and recreate ourselves. Why limit what we can be? Amma means mother in Tamil. It's a chosen title that holds so much intention. Amma means mother in Tamil, but it also means a universal force untethered from gender. Its completeness cannot be translated into English. My parents tell me the Tamil that struggles on our tongues is queer in its own right, fighting to belong in this world that rejects it. There is power in how we use this word. Thanks. Difficult to balance.
That was beautiful. It's so nice to hear it as well. Yeah, just really, really evocative. I wanted to kind of take us a little bit further back to the origins of Bad Queer. And actually, I was chatting to Jo earlier, and she said that Pages of Hackney is a little connection to Bad Queer as well.
Yeah. So I, on my writing days, it can be quite like a solo endeavour, and for a little break I would cycle to Pages and come and say hi to Jo or Ollie or Seb, who are so welcoming, and we'd just have a chat, and I would come and be with the books, you know, and just feel quite connected to the purpose of my writing, and then go home, and it's, I think, really important to have that stranger community, and just feel like someone cares. I was a stranger at first, and you didn't really need to have 10-20 minutes of a chit chat, but it was really fueling, you know. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really lovely. I wanted to know a bit more about including Tamil history and language. I mean, you touched on it there, but I wonder if you could just say a bit more about that choice.
I'll read a bit that's in Tamil later, but I can't read or write Tamil fluently, but I'm learning. And I think it's really important that we just try and we start. So it's the first time that I've written in the Tamil script.
Oh, wow.
There's 360 letters, and I'm still getting to grips with it. But writing 6 Tamil words in a predominantly English poem, it still felt so powerful, you know, because I was like, oh, well, I get to try, and someone's gonna correct my pronunciation, or, you know, there'll be ways that I can definitely, you know, keep learning and improve, but it just meant so much that my mum can read those 6 words, you know, that's cool. And the dream is that I would be able to write in Tamil one day fluently, but yeah, there's I think it's important that we don't put the burden on ourselves to be perfectly fluent before we start, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that this was, you know, this, the first kind of 6 words you've written ever in Tamil. That's amazing. And I wish we could tell that in this is actually, you know, I'm still trying, you know, this isn't me at I didn't wait until I was fluent to be able to write these out. Because I can imagine, and I'm not Tamil, but I can imagine what it'd be like to see the words in my language written in this book about a queer story. And I don't know if there are any Tamil readers, writers, speakers in the audience, but I wish I would. Yeah, I would love to hear, like, know what that feels like, because it is powerful. It really is. So I really appreciate it being in there. Yeah, really love that.
Thank you. Yeah, and specifically, you know, the Tamil language was in Sri Lanka. They tried to erase it. There was a Sinhala-only act about 50 years ago, which the government passed a law where you could only speak Sinhalese, which was the other predominant language in the country. And so that is a really kind of obvious way of trying to get rid of Tamil language and culture. And for us now in the diaspora to prioritize learning it, I think is like a political act, you know, and I don't want it to die. And I feel like lots of people would probably feel similarly about the languages they might not have like a huge connection to at the moment, but want to build that.
Yeah, yeah. And I just was, as he was talking, it's kind of making sense of why it's so powerful for me. And I think it's because it gives me permission that, oh, this is a part of me that I can still have. I don't have to wait until I can, read the whole language or be fluent in it. Like, actually, this is mine too. Yeah. Really, really beautiful. I wanna hear another reading.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to hear another reading?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone can see it, but the post-it note assortment in Gayathiri's book is absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if it's like a queer thing, because I've also got some as well. I just love that. Organised, colourful, fantastic. Take it away.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do this one. Is it helpful if I do sit on the... Yeah, okay, people are nodding, yeah. Okay. So this is Surya falling in love for the first time with Blessing, who is a boy they meet at youth theatre, and they're just figuring out sort of touch and boundaries and how to express how they feel about sex. The next couple of weeks are a summer blur. Blessing and I talk all night. We swap story after story, fueled by 3 a.m. cereal and the blue light of our phones. When we're together, it's seconds before some part of our bodies are connected. His elbow against my knee, my arm around his shoulder, his legs across my lap. We trek through the city's marshes and forests. He points to the plants he knows, like moonwort and tumble mustard, shows me their tiny crescent fronds and bright yellow faces. When I'm cold, he lends me his hoodie and tells me to keep it. He uses they a bit more. I correct him when he doesn't. I glitch a bit less. Today I have a free house. We're in my room when Blessing asks if I want to go further. When I say, not right now, he doesn't push or demand a when or a why. I'll explain it to him soon, but I can't right now. Lately, when I think about unpacking sex or voicing the dysphoria it makes me feel, that tightening and shrinking and closing begin. On the phone that evening, I'm relieved that nothing has changed. Blessing isn't cold or distant because I said no. He's just the same. I sit in bed in his hoodie as he tells me another one of his stories. The first time I saw the sea, I was in Ghana with my granddad, he says. The ocean was turquoise and so was the sky. I don't think I've ever seen that colour before. A camera doesn't do it justice. Anbu. At dinner on Friday, Tati tells me there are words for different kinds of love in Tamil, and I wonder if she can see it on my face. Anbu, the catch-all, unrestrictive, universal word for love. Pasam, the affection of a parent, of a bedtime story, of a head gently stroked to sleep. Bhakti, devotional love, how the gopis loved Krishna, how Krishna loved them back. Kadal, a romantic, belly-swirling, seeing stars kind of love. Moham, infatuation, that can't eat, can't sleep, want you now kind of love. Tati doesn't teach me this one, I look it up myself. Nesam, the love between friends, solid and soft, a life force when you have it. Tati tells me there are words for different kinds of love in Tamil, and slowly I let myself feel some of them too. Thanks.
Oh, I was just like grinning, just remembering my kind of first love as a teenager, and like all these, just all the loves, all the different types of love, and really, really beautiful. I want to get a little bit more into the story, but before I do, I just wanted to actually reflect on when I think when we first met, which was through youth work. Right? Was it? I used to run an organisation called Colours Youth Network and we ran this spaces for LGBTQ youth of colour across the UK. One of them was a conference. I think it was in Birmingham, and I was running around like a headless chicken, trying to get young people together. And I don't even think we actually like met, because I was doing that and you were running a workshop, which was decolonising pleasure. It was, and I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see you, I don't know how it went, but what I did see and remember were the faces of the young people when they left, like the power that you gave them in creating this space in a youth event that allowed them to wrestle with these feelings, concepts that they thought were off limits, or they didn't know how to put together. It was incredible. They loved you, and I've seen you with young people run spaces, and it's always amazing. And this is something you say my goal was to write young adults who recognize the systems that shape them, as well as recognize their power that they have to reshape those systems. And I want to know where you found your power as a young person.
I think one, through reading.
Yeah.
Because I think lots of books would tell you things that other adults in your life might not tell you. And then, I remember there was like one book about bodies that I found in our school, and just looking through, learning about anatomy, because our sex ed was awful. And then researching online when we got the internet when I was about 13. And I think, if a young person is old enough to ask the question, they're old enough to hear the answer. And in schools, year 8, year 9, year 10, we get asked about what's an orgasm? Is masturbation bad for me? Can I masturbate too much? What if I don't want to have XYZ type of sex? Someone touched me when I didn't want them to. Was that my fault? Is my labia too dangly? And I would so rather they had someone to ask those questions to, and who didn't say, oh, that's rude or gross, or why are you talking about that, and just give them the answers that's like the truth. And also, if I don't know the answer, I would say I don't know, but we can find out. yeah, so books and just like information, you know,
Yeah.
and then talking to my friends. I think I felt like really raised by. I went to a girls' school. That's the whole thing, but I do feel like I was raised by those people, and you know, like I love writing friends because there's such an intimacy and a trust, and you know, oh, can you just have a look at my genitals because I kind of think something's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and being able to there's Surya has a best friend called Maha, and there's a poem in there about them being siblings, and it's chosen family, right? Like they are the people that you need to become yourself.
Yeah, and I love that this is actually kind of role modeling like what friendship can be and what can do. Like, can make you feel powerful, find your power. Even the parts where there's mistakes and people don't have the answers to the questions as well.
Or someone feels sort of like betrayed by someone.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think going through that conflict is also useful to be like, oh, I trusted you and you broke that trust, and how do we repair that? And and it was just I thought like fun and useful for me to write. You know, it was like I was learning through like writing these relationships. Yeah.
You've touched on this before about sex education and your background as a sex educator. Can you say a little bit more about those like deliberate choices to include sex education so transparently?
Yeah. I think talking about, you know, like consent and everyday sexual violence, but also, you know, I wanted to show, like we read and see so much on TV and film about sexual violence, and I wanted to see what it looked like or what it sounded like in a book when it was good, you know? Maybe it's awkward and clumsy, and it's all about discovery, right? And oh, we tried this, it didn't quite feel good, so let's try something else. Oh, that feels amazing, you know? And that kind of being vocal with each other, and sometimes you feel a little bit embarrassed, and like what if we kept trying to be vulnerable even though it just felt like and that's kind of like the world that I want to live in. Like those are the types of like relationships I want to have. So yeah, I think somewhere else I've written about like I would much rather we had the conversation and you know, it felt kind of sticky, and I didn't quite have the words to articulate what I wanted in terms of sex and touch, and it be really cringe as an experience, than not have the conversation and then like it's harmful, you know, or you feel coerced, and not by like a person, just by like societal expectation, you know. Yeah, and then the consequence is that whatever the sex is, it feels like really fun and silly and giggly, and that was great to write.
Yeah, I bet. And yeah, even just in the reading that you read just now, how fun it is. I want to come to Blessing and Surya. You kind of outline their relationship and the dynamic, and you have those like little glitches of, you know, them not getting the they them pronouns quite right. And for me, actually, it made me think about, you know, as a trans person, as someone who's assigned female at birth, you know, those kind of questions of like, is this person seeing me as me, or are they seeing me as a woman or a female, or, you know.
And how do you know?
And how do you know? Yeah, like, so it made me kind of think about the cis gaze, and what I kind of like about this book is that and the story is that you bring that to the forefront, and you don't have an answer. like there's not really a clear thing, is there? Like, does Blessing see Surya as a girl? Gayatri struggling. You're not going to tell me.
Don't know.
But yeah, it is really. I think you just
What I will say is, and I don't think it is a spoiler, I think it is like my purpose, which is to write happy endings for queers.
Yes.
So maybe in a way that answers your question.
Yeah. And you see that journey, like you do, you go along that journey, but I just really like that it was there.
Yeah, and I think it's good that it's like uncomfortable and Blessing gets it wrong so much, and Surya is like choosing themselves a lot, right? And I won't say too much, but there comes a point where it's like either you do you or you like lose a bit of yourself, you know, and choosing yourself is really hard because it's not comfortable, like you might lose some people, you know. For example, I've stepped away from lots of friendships that have been really difficult over the last like 5 years, but it's because I wanted a different sort of like world and life for myself than like what someone was able to give me, like where they were at. And it's not to like demonize certain people, it's more like actually maybe we're on like different paths at this point, and like I need to take care of me, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm the first romance Surya has is with themselves, you know.
I feel like I need to read this again and just kind of have this other like kind of wonderings about the romance in the storyline. That was so insightful to hear about.
Also, Blessing is really lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. Such a sweetheart. Cooks all the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feed her.
Yeah. And you said it yourself. Like you wanted to write a queer happy ending. Yeah. Because you care about us. And you know this care is woven throughout this book so lovingly. Like, you know, there are moments when Surya's having an anxious time where they're like, okay, 5 things I can see, 4 things I can smell. Like there's a grounding exercise that you do with them. And tell me more about why you chose to put those moments in the book as well.
Yeah. I think there are some like practical things that Surya does, like the stretching, that's sort of meditative, and also the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in terms of the senses, and also writing in their journal, and you get some of their poems as well. And that's all stuff that I do when I'm feeling anxious or like unsafe, or to process. And it felt like the everyday things that just like keep me regulated, and that made sense in terms of like fullness of character to write. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I you know, as a psychotherapist and a wellbeing practitioner, like it's so important for me to see that in a book that's aimed at young people, because what it does for me is it makes it a safe book to give to young people. Like I can give this to you, and not only is it going to be a lovely story where you understand, you know, that you don't have to be you're not a bad queer for looking or feeling a certain way. You don't have to be in a certain type of journey to be able to say and use normal words.
Have a certain type of partner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you can see, this is what good friendship looks like.
You can be a bad friend sometimes. Yeah. And then, try and like learn how to like apologize.
Yes.
And
and you can take care and regulate your emotions whilst you do it. I love it. I really love it. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, it means a lot to me to be able to say to just give it to young people and be like, this is going to be good in so many ways. We don't have much of that, and I would love to see more of that. Go on.
It just also made me think of Surya. I really wanted them to also build their own future after school, and something they're questioning is whether they go to university or not, if that is the right place for them. Oh, maybe I could read a small
please.
section in a minute. But, you know, with hindsight, and I think society is changing now a bit, but I don't know if I would choose to go to university. Like, in the time that I did, there was a lot of isms, you know, like racism, sexism, blah, blah. There was no, like, queerness to speak of. Like if I never heard the word queer in, like, the 4 years I was at uni, like, that probably shows you what the environment was like. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, so Surya is presented with a choice, and it's very much, I think, useful to be like, what do you want to do after school? And kind of be shown different pathways. Because I didn't think that writing was possible. I didn't think that facilitating pleasure workshops was possible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It sounds like this was kind of a chance for you to almost like have that conversation or see what that would have looked like if you had that when you were younger.
Yeah, a lot of it I think is like writing what I would like to like offer a young person in my life, or, you know, in my orbit, and really, you know, like, here are some building blocks for like what your life could look like. Like, what do you want to play around with? Yeah.
Yeah, were you going to do another?
Shall I read a thing?
We've got time to do that,
Do we have the time?
And then I have just like a couple of short questions, and then we can open up to the audience, so do get thinking of some questions or comments as well.
Okay, great. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
I got you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is where Surya is going to a university open day and exploring the library, talking to some people. Later, I wander over to the uni library next door, looking for a moment to myself. I run my fingertips across shelves upon shelves of books. Students are huddled under dim lamps, spilling yellow light onto laptops and papers. I imagine myself sat in this refuge of quiet, just me and a book. You applying for a joint degree too? The question comes from a tall redhead as we both reach for the same gold-edged Bible. Oh, I'm not sure, I say. One subject might be enough. Savvy, he says, slipping the book off the shelf and breathing in the open pages. Nothing better than the aroma of our literary forefathers. I'm a real polymath, you see. I can't pick just one subject. I'm hoping to read history and English literature. My father read English here, and his father before that. I'm not sure how I'm meant to respond. I nod. Cool. Arthur, he says, thrusting a hand towards me. I'm Surya, I say, offering mine. So tell me, he says, what makes someone like you suited to a place like this? I trip over his question. Sorry? State your case. It's good practice. What makes you suited to a place like this? I don't know what to say. Panic sets in, but my body is rooted to the spot. Blood rushes to my ears, a steady pulsating. My eyes flicker over to the engraved double doors behind Arthur. I want to leave. Just checking it out, I say. Oh, come on, you've got to do better than that. Who are you reading at the moment? I will my legs to walk me out of the room, but he's asked me a question I feel compelled to answer. I want to prove I'd be suited to a place like this. Toni Morrison, I say, finally. Arthur arches his eyebrows. Not heard of him, he says. Word of advice. You really ought to be reading tactically at this stage. I'm floored, baffled, stunned into silence. Arthur blinks expectantly. I'm rereading Heart of Darkness. Really stayed with me the first time. It's part of the recommended reading, he says, brandishing the list like a weapon. And in that moment, the penny drops. I realise this is not what I want. I don't want to prove myself here. I don't want to fit into this space. I don't want to absorb the norms. What if a place like this isn't suitable for me? I don't owe Arthur my patience. I don't need to play respectability. I can choose to preserve myself. I set back my shoulders and smile at Arthur, for real this time. Toni Morrison, she's one of the greats. I recommend you start with Beloved. Yes, thank you.
Nice. That was a really good one. Yeah.
True story, that's not what I said.
Oh.
I was just like, yeah. And, because you know, you're 18 in the moment, you're sort of like, oh, I'm meant to be able to debate with this kind of person. Do you know what I mean? So it was nice to rewrite the ending.
I love that.
Of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give us so much in this book. I was just remembering, actually, it's not just like the authors and the greats. Like, there's also so much music in this book, and I don't know if anyone's read it, but it's just like this beautiful, nostalgic, like soundtrack that you kind of get throughout it as well, which I just wanted to big up as well. So yeah, really, really gorgeous. I have another question. This is just for fun. Fun little question. When Blessing and Surya are on a date, Surya asked a very fun question, and as a youth worker, I love a little icebreaker, which is why I made you all talk to each other. The question was, if you had to stay the same age for the rest of your life, what age would that be? I'm going to say the age that I am now. Yeah. Which is 32. Because so much has gone into like trying to become someone that I like. Do you know what I mean? And I think so much of the world like had its claws in me, say 10 years ago, and you like slowly try and like undo that, and we're all still trying, but I guess at this point I'm like, oh, I do like who I am. I like the people that I've sort of held around me. Yeah. And also, I want to say, yes, this is young adult, but also like as queer adults, like so many of us, I'm sure, didn't get to live a like free queer adolescence when we were teenagers, and so we're doing that now. You know, that like giddy, that like, oh, like discovering who we are, like what we like what kind of touch we like, you know. And I think the kind of feeling of queer time where like you are all of the versions of yourself simultaneously, right? Because like my 16-year-old has felt so much freedom because like I have at this age have written this book. Do you know what I mean? And so I really hope that there is this nostalgia, yes, for like
adults who read this book, but also a sense of like you can live your adolescence at any age.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant. What a lovely, lovely answer.
Thank you for the question.
I was just like, oh, maybe when I was 3 years old and I could play with my toys and eat my ice cream whenever I want. No. Actually, I kind of...
What age would you be?
I think it would be around 5 or something, and kind of in an opposite way of actually that the time where I almost had no idea who I was. Like there was no... I'm transgender, I'm this, I'm that, this is who I want to be. It was just like, I just was. Like, I didn't, it was before people started saying like, oh, you know, what a lovely girl and do this and oh, you shouldn't sit like that. It was just before that noise. It was just pure, just childhood. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Final question. Good queer or bad queer?
Bad queer.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think in like admitting that we're bad, there's like a shared like connection, like vulnerability. Do you know what I mean? The title came about because I kept saying to my editor, Amma Badu, who's incredible, really supportive and really pushed like the politics of the book. I kept saying, oh, you know when you just feel like a shit queer because blah, blah, blah. You have all these insecurities. And then she said, how about bad queer?
Yeah.
And just immediately, it's a great title.
Yeah.
So shout out to Amma.
Love that.
Yeah.
Is there then perhaps going to be like an adult version called Shit Queer?
Oh, yeah, next book.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
I love that. Please let's give it up for Gayathiri.
Oh, sorry.
Amazing. All right, we've got time for your questions, for your comments. Let's hear them. And what I'll do is, because we're recording, I'll try and repeat the question as well so they can hear it when they're listening back.
Cool. I'm going to blow my nose.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's redact this part. Yeah, take a minute to think about it.
Okay, I'm good.
Also, if you don't want your question to be on the recording, we can also turn it off as well. That might feel like pressure. Yeah. We've got a question over here.
Hello.
Hi.
I was lucky enough to read an early draft of this, and when I read it, I found it so amazing that the main character had queer and trans parents. And I realised I hadn't really read many books where that was the case, and I wondered, did you have any references for that? Also, was that idea with you from the beginning of writing it? Like, did that feel really important to you that they had trans parents?
Yeah.
I'll just repeat the question. So the question was about how amazing it was to have queer and trans parents in the book. What was your reference point to that, if you have one, and was it there at the beginning? Like, did you think about it at the beginning? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Okay. So the first intention that I had was to imagine what it would be like if I had a child, or like children in my orbit somehow, which I do. Not a child like bio baby myself, but the young people around me, and what I wanted to pass down to them in terms of politics and how they feel about their bodies, and not censoring them, this sort of thing. And I feel like writing is such a good way of like rehearsing the future, because the stakes are relatively low. And it sort of gives you confidence of, oh, this is how we would navigate like talking about consent, or the Amma who is the trans parent in the book, there's a scene where they go to a GP appointment, the GP's rubbish, and then they come home and Amma is like angry and annoyed, and they're a painter, so they're sort of painting as a way of processing, and Surya comes in and they can sense that something's wrong, and rather than as a parent sort of hiding or repressing that anger or pretending everything's okay, they sort of say that the doctor that they saw was transphobic and crap, and Surya and Amma start painting together, and they sort of, you know, process that. And I just think that's kind of how I would like to parent, and sort of we're not pretending that the world is doing okay, because it's not. And if we're going to be raising kids in this environment, I want to equip them with the tools to like regulate themselves and also kind of in community. Yeah, and you know, like I'm sure we've all experienced kind of angry adults who like don't know how to deal with when they're upset, or it's quite a distressing place to be in the home. That I don't want to replicate that. Yeah, so that's kind of where it came from. And then in terms of like influences, similarly, I've not read a lot of books. I can't think of one in my mind that have like trans or queer parents, but I think reading queer elders, it makes me feel like they have parented me. Do you know what I mean? Like bell hooks, like Octavia Butler. It kind of feels like, and I've referenced a lot of writers in the book who I really feel like were with me during like the writing process. Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you for that really lovely question as well.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Who's also a brilliant writer.
Oh, yes.
And I don't want to embarrass you, but their pamphlet is out with 14 poems, and honestly is one of the best pamphlets of poetry that I've read this year.
Oh, where can we find said pamphlet and said poet?
You can get it on the 14 Poems website.
14 Poems website. She will need a stable boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love I loved it so much I wrote it down. Writing is such a good way of rehearsing the future.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I want that on a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Well, not a tote bag. I have too many tote bags. But that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments from the audience?
You mentioned that when you were translating Tamil, you couldn't find the word queer, or there wasn't a sort of immediate translation for it. I wonder what it was like, kind of sort of curating the character and thinking about some of their experiences within the context of sort of the language, and how you were kind of sort of making sense of that, and any frustrations you came up against.
Yeah.
I'm just going to repeat the question. So when translating Tamil, when you couldn't find the word queer, what was it like thinking about that character and the character's journey through that, and even if there were any frustrations as well?
Yeah. So for ages, I didn't think there were any words in Tamil for like queerness, transness. But then I met Sabah Choudrey, who runs the Tamil channel, which is a sort of Tamil teaching organisation, also on Instagram, the Tamil channel. And she, along with sort of Tamil linguists globally, are like unearthing and coining queer Tamil words. So queer is Tamil for queer.
Nice.
There's also words like irume, which is non-binary, and mulu irpiner, which is pansexual. So anyway, we are building the vocabulary, and which is really important to, I think, internalize that words are constantly evolving and being made up, and like we can do that. I think we should be kind of coining words to like fit us rather than like us trying to fit into words that already exist. So for ages I was like, oh, I don't exist, or you know, we don't exist in the culture, but now, you know, it's funny, my mum was teaching me some words for the book, and then I was teaching her some words, like the queer Tamil words. And like, what a gift.
That's amazing.
Do you know what, to be able to do that? And yeah, there was definitely growing up this feeling of like, that classic, you know, oh, here are my like white friends, and then here are my Tamil friends.
And never the twin shall meet.
Yeah. Like I go clubbing, like, and go to like queer poetry things with like this lot, and then with the Tamil lot, you know, we go to the temple. I don't know. Yeah, but there's really like such a meeting of these worlds now. Yeah.
That's really, really beautiful, and actually kind of made me think about what you were saying earlier about like meeting your mum again as adults, as peers or something like that, and how this kind of sharing of language, not like oh, you won't know what this word means, or you'll never guess, you know, it's like very, equal, reciprocal.
Yeah.
We have time for some more questions and comments if anyone's got something that's come to mind.
I'm curious about your process around your description of it as being so autobiographical in parts and not in others, and I'm curious about your process in navigating the decisions on when to be true to your experience and when to be true to an experience that isn't yours.
I've scribbled on the question and now I can't even read my handwriting. You describe this book as autobiographical, and
I'm not sure that I do. Anyway, but we'll come to that.
And the question is, the person's asking, is curious about the process and when you kind of chose it to be true and when not, I guess.
Yeah. I think I definitely borrow from my life and like my friends' lives and from my elders. But I really like the fact that I can make stuff up, and you're writing a story that's hopefully entertaining and fun, and also, you know, characters that people really want to like root for. So yes, like romances that I've had in the past, like that was also used in the book, and but I think I'm a big fan of just making stuff up to like write a better story, you know. So I think it's a mix of all these things. I think I'm always asking myself the question, like, is this like useful to have in the book? What is a better scene than what actually happened? You know, like what is the like, not utopia version, but the I mean, a very simple one is like, what is the most consensual version of this scene? Let's say in the kind of dating and sex bits of it, but also like if it speaks like a truth, do you know what I mean? Then it doesn't need to be fact. It just needs to like feel honest. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'd say a lot of it is made up, which is the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any other questions? That's all right. Final question to you then. Where can we find out more about you and the other events you're doing for the book?
Yes. My website is gayathiri.co.uk, and my Instagram is unembarrassable. And
Great handle.
thank you.
Very strong.
That was in my sex ed days, and then it sort of stuck. Yeah.
Amazing. Any other book events around the country?
Yes. Yeah. We've got book events.
On your website?
Some in London. Yeah. Scotland, Wales. Yeah. Midlands. I'm travelling.
Great.
Yeah.
Spread the word. Thank you so much. Let's give another final round to Gayathiri.
Thank you.